Good morning, students. I will teach you history today, and the first chapter will be our first discussion, and the headline of that chapter is name of the chapter is the Mesopotamian civilization. The Mesopotamian civilization, as you know, that is the most ancient civilization of the world and the contemporary civilization of our Indus Valley civilization of Harappan culture. Okay, we will discuss over this topic, but before getting into the story, before discussing about the Mesopotamian civilization, we must understand that what is civilization. The human beings assemble together, come in a flock for a particular purpose. That is not civilization. In the prehistory time, when the human beings were not the producer, when the human beings not the producer, only they were the consumer. They used to live in a cage together along with others, and used to get out from the cage for the searching of food, used to kill the animals, and used to collect the fruits from the nearby forests. After the consumption of that particular geographical place, they used to migrate from here to there in search of new geographical area where they could have the food to eat. So that was the human nature in our primitive days. So in those days, on the basis of their nature, they used to call the nomadic, Nomadic means those who were not the producers, who were the consumers of the nature. Now, as they were not the producer, so they didn't know how to produce the food, and that's why they had to migrate from here to there. That is the point. And that's why they were called the nomadic migrators. The nomadic migrator. So they used to migrate from here and there. With due course of time, long passage of time, these things being happening on. After that, when they all of a sudden, when they discovered how to produce food, how to cultivate, when they had discovered the process, the method of cultivation, they didn't need to migrate from here and there. They settled down. They started settling down. And since then, the human settlement has been started. Now, with the passage of time, on the basis of this settlement, they started creating their society, their social norms, do's and don'ts, ethics, laws, social prejudice, and their this way the other things like they used to know the clothing, making of clothes, pottery. They used to think they used to knew they used to practice making of different utensils. They, with due course of time, they have been building their different buildings for living, their streets, their drainages, their architecture, entertainment methods, their trading, the importance, the significance of the surplus food, these things they had become um, realized, and one after another, they had been implementing, they had been executing these new things for smoothen up their daily life with long passage of time. So these things would be termed as the advanced social status. Advanced social status, this particular term is based on the social evolution towards the development. Social evolution towards the development. That's what I have told right now. Everything had not come in one day, and all they have not got in their hand in a particular way. Things have come one after another. The advancement happened, development happened, one after another. That is important. And that is called the social evolution of development, which landed them in an advanced stage of society. So, given it here, the Mesopotamian civilization, you can see the civilization or the culture we are discussing right now. First point, that is nomadic migration. I have told, I have discussed. Next one, settlements, I have discussed. Next one, advanced social stages, I have discussed. Now, the next thing is civilization. Now, what happened when the society had become advanced? That advanced or developed society, we can say, we can term as the civilization. As the civilization. So, civilization is not the affair which arrived on the planet Earth from the planet Mars or from the other spiritual creature, celestial creature, and fall upon planet Earth in one day. It was not like that. It was a process of making the life more comfortable with applying the technology. Technology means in our primitive days, in our ancient days, when the science was not there so far, as we know, they didn't have the science book, they didn't have the mathematics book like that, in that perspective. So, how they could know about technology? To kill a particular, okay, consider fishing. They used to know the fish from the very beginning. Now to catch the fish, it could be possible that they had used their two hands to catch the fish. Catching fish is not an easy affair. So they had to develop a particular weapon, particular item to catch the fish. And through that item, they used to catch the fish. They had to develop a particular item to cultivate, that is plow, and through that particular plow, they used to cultivate. So that is called technology. That is called technology. So, one after another, such technological, and on the basis of technological advancement, the social development landed them in a particular civilization. Now the point is the last one, that is culture. What is culture? The civilization is equal to culture, one can say. We can say that civilization means culture. But as we know that so far discovered, we have five ancient civilizations throughout the world. Chinese civilization, Indus Valley civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization, and ancient Greek Rome civilization. Now, these are the civilizations, among them, four civilizations were more or less contemporary. Chinese civilization, Egyptian, Indus Valley or Harappan civilization, and Mesopotamian civilization. These civilizations were almost more or less contemporary civilization. It's okay. But interesting thing is that all these civilizations had their specific identity, definite identity. You cannot mess with them. You cannot mingle the Indus Valley civilizations with Mesopotamian civilizations. All of these civilizations have gone through the same historical evolution. First nomadic culture, nomadic migration, next settlement, next social development, next civilization and culture. This historical method was being adopted, was being practiced in all ancient civilizations. But they had their different identities, just like you. All of we are what? Human being. But we are very much separate. We are very much individual to each other. I'm not like you. I have a definite identity, and you have definite identity. Just like that. Now, what are those identities? These definite identities are just like the town planning, the architectural specification, the pottery, the clothing, and the style of clothing, the ornamentation, the script and the language, the religious structure, the political structure, the social structure, the training, the items of training, the entertaining life, the food habit, these things made the difference in respect of the different civilizations as well. That is called the culture. So, this way, the civilization or culture had come to us, and this way we had become the civilized society, the civilized person. Now, interestingly, from the ancient civilization, from the Harappan civilization or Mesopotamian civilization, today's people have become more advanced. So civilization or the culture become more complex and more advanced. So this way the civilization is not a stagnant word. Civilization or culture is moving on, rolling on, running on, evoluting on from a particular stage to developed stage. So that is our civilization now. Now what we will get into the through the topic. The first one, before that, here we have discussion that important features of civilization. Important features of civilization. So what are the important features of civilization? If I ask you, that what is civilization, or you can say that these, and that is the civilization. Now, if I ask you that, how will you understand that Mesopotamians were civilized? Or how will you understand that a particular civilization is civilized? How will you understand a particular civilization is civilized? That means, what is the feature of the civilization? What is the characteristics of a civilization? In a particular civilization, what features must have to be there through which we can tell it, we can term it as the civilization? That is important. We need to know. The first one, settled life. We have discussed settlement. Next one, surplus food production. Surplus food production comes with the settlements. That means when from nomadic migration, nomadic migrated, when the human being knew how to produce, then they started production. And with due course of time, they could see that how much they were producing. Things left in their hand even after the consumption. Large amount of production left in their hand even after the total consumption. That particular left production is called the surplus production. Now, what will they with this surplus production? They will trade this. And this way, a particular society or civilization gets developed. So, next one, town and cities. That means urbanization. That means town planning, establishment of buildings. That is the word. Next one, town planning, residential buildings and movements are told. Next one, governing bodies, administrative bodies, which will govern that particular society, a particular governing unit, just like king, just like queen, or something like that. Special crafts and skill. Special crafts. They used to, a particular civilization must have to know, beside agriculture, beside trading, a particular civilization must have to know to produce different things, just like the furnitures you are seeing here, tools, tables, such things, carpentering activities, just like different pottery activities, the color of the pottery, the shape and size. So things must have to be specific, definite, and special. And the finally, that is language and script. Language and script. All we have the civilization, as I told you, 5 ancient civilizations, most ancient 5 civilizations. Those were Chinese civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Indus Valley civilization, Egyptian civilization, and ancient Greek and Roman civilizations. They are separate to each other in respect of the language they used to. Language and the script is very intense difference between these civilizations. That is one point, and second point is that a civilization must have its own language and script. We can term a particular settlement as a civilization if we see that it has a particular script and language. That is the point. During the Bronze Age, so bronze was the metal. Why it is called Bronze Age? Because bronze, this particular metal, was being used for making different tools, different utensils, needful things. So that it was called Bronze Age. So during the Bronze Age, areas around Indus Valley in the Indian subcontinent, areas around River Indus, that means in Indus Valley, the Nile Valley in Egypt, that means the areas around River Nile in Egypt, the valleys of Tigris and Euphrates in Mesopotamia, that means the areas adjacent to the twin rivers Tigris and Euphrates in Mesopotamia, and Huanghe or Huangho in China, that means the places around the river Huanghe in China had become the center of the civilization in our ancient days. The earliest civilizations developed on river banks because of several reasons. That is very, very interesting side of the ancient civilization. Most of the ancient civilizations were formed, were built, were flourished in the river banks, river valley. Why? That is very important. Why? Because there was abundant water supply to support large settlements. Abundant water supply. As we know the importance and the significance of water in our life, we would be fish out of water without water. That means without water we cannot sustain. So for our drinking, for our daily activities, for agriculture, for transport, for making of buildings, for trading, for every activity we used to do, the water is needed. Now, when they had the large, long rivers alongside with their settlements, so the resource of water was abundant. They used to use this abundant water, and that's why these very advanced civilization was flourished in our ancient world, ancient history. Land was fertile and crops grew in plenty. due to due to the having of water resource nearby, that means such a river, the farmers or the agricultural people got the water in those days very easily, and it was a big help to farm their lands, and they, with a little effort, they used to produce a huge amount of So they had plenty of time for their pleasing activities, and they used to create, they used to enable their creative skills, etc., etc. Rivers also acted as a means of transport. What they used to produce, whatever it is artificial, in the small cottage industrial production or whatever it is agricultural production, they used to transport them from this town to that town, from this settlement to that settlement through the river. So trading used to happen through the river. So as a result, trade increased, leading to the growth of towns and cities, and which had been leading the developments of the particular civilization and the culture. So after this today, we will go through the remaining portions in our coming days. Thank you.